So here we go. It's another in our series of meeting people, and in this one it's the legend that is Sugar Ray Leonard, and there he is coming in Dublin Airport with our mate Big Joe Egan. And just to put some background on this, we were filming a DVD called Joe Egan with the Toughest Men on the Planet, and it was great because we both got to go around and meet all these boxing legends like Joe Frazier, Nigel Benn, Jake LaMotta, and of course here we are with the great Sugar Ray Leonard.
I think out of all of the boxers, I know, he's my absolute favourite. Just a lovely bloke, would put himself out, as you'll see later on with the footage for people. Just a really nice guy. His assistant Emily was charming, anything that we wanted. I mean, you could have just been with your mate, couldn't you? Because I think that a lot of boxers have a sense of who they are, whereas this man was just charming.
He was absolutely charming. He's coming in there, and all the press are there at Dublin Airport, and Joe's got his mates there doing the security, and of course Sugar Ray was pushing his own trolley until Joe's mates stepped in, and they were a great group who were going to provide the security for the tour.
Oh, I see they've left Emily pushing her own trolley there. I've just noticed that. Oh, yeah.
That is quite funny. There you are coming out. There you are. And you know, people just love Sugar Ray because, I mean, he's so elegant in a way. All the press out there you are, you're saying hello to him. Introduced as my wife, actually.
Yeah, well, we'll gloss over that, shall we?
So going up to the car, and then of course we've got Gerard there, Gerard Hutch, who's obviously very well known in Ireland. He's got his own Hummer.
Stretch Hummer, actually.
Actually, stretch limo Hummer, is that correct term?
I have no idea. I've never been in one before till then.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a weird thing that you should say that, because we thought we were just going to follow on in a car. We actually didn't have any transport there. I think we just got a taxi there. But he said, why don't you go in with Sugar Ray? And wasn't it amazing travelling with him?
Yes, we had this huge stretch Hummer, and we ended up, Liam, me, Emily, with Sugar Ray, just looking through photographs on his phone of his family, his kids. I mean, it was just a really lovely, wasn't it? Lovely journey.
It was really intimate because, I mean, he could have been standoffish in there, but he just talked to us for the half an hour drive, and it was like having a sort of private audience with, you know, this sort of legendary man, and just chatting about his family and everything, and how he was looking forward to the tour of Ireland. And here we're seeing Sugar Ray arriving at Joe's mother's place. What is it like, sort of sheltered accommodation?
Yes, it's a sheltered accommodation, and the time before that, Mike Tyson, who is Joe's one of Joe's oldest friends, was there visiting Mum. So of course she's used to these world names dropping by with Joe.
Yeah, and what's funny about this particular situation is that when Mike Tyson was there, which was just before Sugar Ray, as a gift, Mike Tyson bought loads of chairs and tables, I think, for the bingo hall, which is just to the side of there. And so I think Sugar Ray's been like pushed by some of the residents to say, you know, what are you going to buy? Here we are. Yeah, here's the guy. He comes in and he's explaining how about Tyson having bought all the chairs. And so what exactly is Sugar Ray going to be contributing to this place?
I don't know. Maybe they're asking for another wing. Yeah. I can't remember.
More pressure now. Someone else coming in. You know, what are you going to buy? But he's great humour, and of course, Joe's mum is a very warm character, very lovely. We also have to say that Joe Egan, who organised this, is such. He's one of our great mates, isn't he? He's been absolutely fantastic with us over the years, and through him, we've met so many sort of great personalities and top fighters and all that. And he's got a heart of gold. Love Joe. Absolutely love him. So now Joe's mum is and there you are coming in.
She's ushering everybody into the flat,
yes,
into her accommodation now, and now she's going to explain why he needs to buy the table and chairs for the bingo hall, I think.
Yeah, and also she's explaining about how Mike Tyson came and visited her, and the story behind that was that she sent. There's Mike Tyson with her. She sent Mike Tyson when he was a young man and he was training with Joe Egan over in the Catskills. She sent him like a birthday gift, just of like, you know, small presents and all that. And Mike Tyson never forgot that. And when he came round, he was in tears as they remembered that gift coming to him, because he was only a young man. He didn't have family and this, that, and the other, and it meant a lot to him.
And I think because he didn't have family, and Joe's been in his life since they were both 16, I think he views her like it's the mum, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a sort of surrogate
Yeah.
mother. But what a handsome man, and got great class to him. Prepared to spend the time, looking slightly bemused because I should think he's jet lagged at this point.
Completely jet lagged. He probably doesn't know where he is, what's going on, but he was absolutely charming and really gave of his time. And you felt like no matter who talked to him, he is giving them 100% attention, isn't he? He's not. His eyes don't wander. He's not looking for something else or an escape route, or he's just with you.
Yeah, fantastic. And then there's the mum giving you a kiss, and there you are coming out. There you are, and I think they're still trying to get money off him for the chairs.
Yes.
They're there, and the tables. So that was fantastic. So then we got back in. I think we went back in the Hummer with him. Did we go back in?
We did, and I think that's when he went to the hotel. He got changed. Well, this is just before he got changed, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's been introduced to Joe's mates there.
Yes, yeah, they're all sort of local fighters and
getting ready for the evening event, weren't they?
And then I think, am I right in saying that I think Barry McGuigan comes up and introduces himself in just a minute? Did you say hello to Barry McGuigan?
I did very briefly. Very briefly.
I'm getting that you. He didn't say much, did he? I mean, I've never met Barry McGuigan before, but he was quite sort of. Well, what would you say is the word? He just sort of separate, wasn't he? So there's Barry McGuigan there coming in, and a fantastic fighter in his day, obviously, saying hello to Joe, and great personality, Barry McGuigan, actually, absolutely fantastic. And he's there, I think. I don't know if he's comparing the show in the evening or whether he's just a guest. So you say, like, Sugar Ray, he's gone up, he's got changed.
Yeah, now we're into the evening, and I think he stays with Barry McGuigan, doesn't he, for quite a bit of time. And then he's introduced, obviously, to now. Some of these people here, I think you've got it written down.
Yeah. There's the guy who's bodyguarding him is Steve Dawson, who is a friend of Joe's. So there's a few of Joe's friends are looking after him. There's Sugar Ray with Barry McGuigan there, having the photo taken. And anybody who's been to any of these events will know what happens is the public, they get their shots taken with the star of the night, in this case Sugar Ray and Barry McGuigan. You see all the crowd there, and then of course they go in and have a meal, and then of course there's the whole all the speeches and a question and answer session. So there's Sugar Ray just having pictures taken of everybody, and there's Gerard Hutch then. He's not too keen on being filmed, I don't think, but he was all right to us. There's Barry McGuigan with one of Joe's mates, having a bit of a laugh.
Right, so then when we hit just a little bit, I'm just waiting for this to change over. Yeah. So I think we have Mr. Scraggs, don't we, coming in?
Yes, there is Tommy Scragg. Now, we met him a few times with Joe, and Joe used to work with Tommy Scragg. He had a sort of weird thing happen to him. He was jailed eventually for money laundering, I think.
Which was strange because, I mean, I remember we covered an event where he'd done a fundraiser. He got a minibus, didn't he, for a school?
Yeah, and nurses as well.
Nurses, yeah. He did a lot of fundraising.
A load of charity work, and that was in a pub in Wolverhampton, wasn't it?
So that was the sort of what I knew, and then to hear that he'd been jailed was quite a...
17 years jail.
Yeah.
He's there with Joe's there with Jimmy McGee. Now Jimmy McGee was with Joe as a young man there, but Jimmy McGee is one of Ireland's most famous broadcasters. Sadly, no longer with us. But he says, 11 Olympics, 11 World Cups. So they had loads of people there in Dublin, all this sort of, people from the boxing community there to meet Sugar Ray. And there's just a clip there of Joe in one of his fights, which Jimmy is talking about there. Jimmy McGee, sadly no longer with us.
What was lovely, though, you really get a sense that Joe is going home. So he's really, he's at his best in his home, everybody that's known him for years and years, and then he gets to introduce Sugar Ray Leonard, so he was really thrilled about that, wasn't he? Yeah,
and here's Barry McGuigan leading people in. I did try and have a bit of a word with him, but no, didn't get a lot. I said, is it like, entering into one of your fights? But he didn't respond to that, really. So Sugar Ray chatting to everybody, and the ladies with the flags are going in front of him, and a packed crowd in there, but having a laugh with everybody. I mean, absolutely fantastic, I mean,
to me, he shows how it should be done, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, so elegant man walking in, big crowd, flanked by friends of Joe's, the security guys, flags waving, and everybody giving a big cheer fantastic, huge crowd there welcoming up on stage, and he's answering questions from everybody, being introduced. But what a sort of casual kind of guy, isn't he? I mean, absolutely amazing.
I remember he was saying he was tired, so he went back to his room and ordered himself something to eat, I remember. But he was just full of life for a man who'd flown all that way.
Yeah, and Joe looking absolutely amazingly happy. So then, so the journey continued, folks, and we went down to Gertine.
Yeah, now the whole village or small town were waiting. The village hall was all dressed up. There was going to be a meal at the village hall. There's Jimmy White. He attended with his manager, Kevin, quite a character. And that was the first time that we were introduced to Jimmy White. Up to that point, I mean, since then we've made a DVD with him, but we didn't know him at that point. This was the night that we were introduced, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And so they're all waiting there, Jimmy and his manager Kevin Kelly and Joe, and here comes Sugar Ray being
flanked
by
the local Garda.
And then he's there in the car. But this was way down in what we say the east of Ireland or west of Ireland. Coming out, and this was arranged and put on by the manager. There he is. There's the manager. I forget his name now, of the hotel there. So he'd arranged for him to come down and meet everybody. And so then meeting Jimmy White. There's Kevin Kelly with the white hair in the background. Tommy Scragg being there. That's how I think Tommy Scragg and Jimmy met up as well that night. And so the manager got all these celebrities over to this small village in Ireland, which was amazing. And I think Tyson had been there, although we didn't go to the Tyson thing. We stayed in Dublin, didn't we?
Yeah, that's right. We couldn't find him.
We'd given up by then.
We gave up. We went for a meal, I think, didn't we?
Been tracking Tyson for about 3 days, but we did actually see him walk from one room to the other. I think I saw 5 seconds I saw of him, so that wasn't quite so successful. Didn't have quite the same access, but Sugar Ray's going in there now. Everybody's sort of saying hello to each other. Security are there, but quite small actually.
Yeah, and what was interesting was that obviously the locals had all come out, but you had, I mean, when I say the real village came out to see him, that was what was so great. You had a load of old people there as well, didn't you? I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but I mean they had followed his career, and he just gave everyone his time again. Yeah,
and all the boys' clubs were there, and Joe signing autographs and stuff. Joe is such an amazing host, and over the years we've done so much work with him where he's introduced us to people, and he really he managed to get to know everybody, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he just seems to know everybody, and he's got such great energy, and everybody just adores. I mean, I've not really heard him say a bad word about anyone, have you?
No, and he's a good man, and he had a very successful book that was put out by Kaz Pennant, which is how we sort of got to know him, and the DVD I think did sort of quite well for him. We used to go out and about and sell that with him, but he really pushes things. He pushes the book, and
he's great at promoting stuff, isn't he? Really great. I mean, look, he just gets on with everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. So all the crowd are in there, and watch Sugar Ray. There he is.
He's having a go, isn't he?
He's having a go. What would you say? What is that? Penny whistle flute? What is it? I'm not up on the.
Well, it's funny that I haven't really done music for many a year.
But I mean, the character of the man. So he's a world superstar.
Yeah.
And there he is in this Irish pub having a go with all the musicians and stuff like that. Absolutely fantastic. And by that time, I think he was absolutely exhausted.
He was shattered, and he wanted a Coca-Cola to get his energy up. I remember that. Yeah.
Did you speak to him much?
Yeah, I did, and I remember sitting with Emily, his assistant, for most of the evening. I think just charming.
Yeah. What a nice man.
I think at the time she was saying he was just trying to pace himself, because obviously he's flat out going to meet everybody,
Yeah, I think I remember, and it does go on to the end a bit later on, but when he left at the end of the night, I felt absolutely gutted that I wasn't going to see him again. I don't know. I kind of felt sort of quite an affection.
Yeah, you've been with a friend, because I remember just before he left, and we'll probably see that, he danced with an older lady, didn't he?
Yes.
Oh, bless. And everybody was waiting for him to get up on the dance floor, weren't they?
Yeah.
And then, of course, when he did finally leave, there was this sort of quietness descended amongst everyone.
Yeah, because he wasn't grand or anything. He just threw himself in. He's there talking to another boxer. And actually, what's coming up in a minute, which we're actually going to show the interview, we managed to get him to sit down with Joe and have a chat. And I was waiting my moment, because it's so difficult when you've got a star of that magnitude to get him when he's on his own. But he was sitting on his own at the bar.
Which is rare, because, you know, like you say, they're surrounded all the time.
And I said, Joe, you must go and have an interview with him. You must have a little chat with him. And we're going to see that interview in a minute. But it was...
there's the Garda.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was a great opportunity. And let's hear this interview now with Joe coming up. Joe, who are you here with?
I'm here with probably the greatest, alongside Muhammad Ali, boxer of all time. You know, I mean that. I idolise Muhammad Ali. He was my idol. I used to do the Ali Shuffle. But if there's any man that can stand on the pedestal alongside Muhammad Ali, this is the man. You know.
What made him such a great boxer?
Just he had everything. He had everything. He had speed. He had power. He just so graceful in the box, which you were.
You know, Joe, it's hard to envision you doing the Ali Shuffle.
I used to do the Ali Shuffle, but I was
really?
fit. Yeah, I used to do it. I was fit at the time. I was fit at the time. I used to do it as a tribute. And one time in the Irish Championships, I'd won my way to the final. And the final, the guy pulled out. So I arrived in my suit to collect my award. So everyone's screaming, they want the shuffle, they want the shuffle. So if they get into the boxing ring to do the shuffle, so I have to take my shoes off. I'm doing the shuffle in my socks and I slip. And what happened? I fell over. I slipped in my socks.
You got knocked down by no one.
Nobody. I was ever so embarrassed.
That's my man Joe, man.
No. Tyson couldn't put me down, and Lennox Lewis couldn't put me down.
Put
myself down.
Would you like to have fought Sugar Ray?
No chance. I'd have been embarrassed by the man. No, I mean that. I would have been embarrassed by, you know, the skill, the speed, everything. You know, I was just. I was good at taking punishment, I suppose you could say. This man would have peppered me with... He would have hit me with that many lefts, I would have been begging for a right.
How has it been Joe taking Sugar back to your home country?
Oh, it's been fantastic. I walked through Dublin Airport yesterday, and I walked through Dublin Airport in March with Mike Tyson, and in the same year to walk through Dublin Airport with, like I say, one of the greatest boxers of all times, Sugar Ray Leonard. I actually didn't walk in, I floated in. I was walking on air.
It was wonderful, you know. I had a chance to go by Joe's mom's house, and she was a sweetheart. She was just so beautiful and such a big heart, and she opened the doors for me, and it was really special, man. It really was special.
Very, very special for us too.
One special woman.
Right?
Yes.
Very special for us too.
And have you enjoyed the tour?
I've loved it.
Yes, it's been fantastic, and see my man Joe out here, and all the wonderful people. It's been awesome. This is the last leg, you know. I'm here. Where am I, Joe?
In Gurchy, in County Sligo.
Okay, that's where I am. Yeah, but it's been 2 weeks. 2 weeks of incredible receptions and people, and God, it's been fantastic.
You've only been given the reception that you deserve. You know, you are on a pedestal of any boxing fan. You're on the pedestal for them, but not just any people that aren't boxing fans. You know, people that don't even like boxing, they like you because you're such a wonderful human being. You know, even the banned boxing brigade that don't like the fight game, they like you as a person because you're so humble, you're so dignified. You just have a lot of humility. You're just a beautiful person.
Final question. If Joe was considering a comeback, you made a lot of comebacks. Any advice for him?
Lose weight.
Duck. Just duck. That's all Joe has to remember. Just duck.
You know, I made a comeback after 12 years.
Did you really?
Yeah. Well, I come out of prison and I needed the money. So
12 years?
12 years. They had a big write-up in the boxing magazine and they said, George Foreman makes the comeback after 10 years. Big Joe Egan makes the comeback after 12. They mentioned in the same write-up.
That length of time out of the ring is unprecedented.
And I won in the fifth round. round. I fought my friend. It was a great fight.
Well, that's smart. That's very smart to do.
But it was a great fight. We both earned money.
Yes.
You know, and it got me back on as Joe the boxer again instead of Joe the convict.
So
as I come out of prison.
Are you indicating that there's a chance of another comeback?
No. I'm retired now. More of a lover now than a father.
I understand. So am I.
There's the woman I love. I'm built for loving.
Yeah, she's. Watch that toe, baby. Watch that toe.
Watch that toe.
Watch that toe.
It's been fantastic, Ray.
Okay,
Thank
Joe.
you.
All right,
Thank you for everything.
Watch that toe, baby.
So that was Joe having a chat with him, getting the interview. And as I say, I wanted to get an interview with him for Joe to do for his DVD. And like I say, it's almost impossible to get someone like that on their own. And he was just for 1 minute sitting alone at the bar.
Probably trying to get a break and thinking, thank God for that. And then you come along and say, would you like to do an interview? I don't know.
So then he had to keep going because there was an evening event, and there's Scott Welsh, boxer, famous boxer. In fact, he used to be was in Snatch. I think you might have seen.
Yeah.
Had a fight scene. Jimmy White there, Big Joe, and they're all getting introduced by the compere Mark Peters, who does a lot of these type of events. Everybody gets interviewed, and there's Emily, and everybody gets introduced, I should say, and it's Big Joe Egan. He absolutely loves it because all the home crowd love him.
Yeah, I know. I know they do. Don't they? Sometimes more than the names that he brings over.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Jimmy White. And, of course, this was an evening. It was very bizarre because we'd never met Jimmy White before or his manager. And for some reason, we ended up being seated next to them. Steve Collins there, world-famous boxer Steve Collins. And we were sitting at the same table with them, weren't we?
Yeah, I know. And then I think Kevin was asking us, the manager, Kevin is a lovely guy. He said, what are you up to? We said, well, we're just making this DVD. And he said, you know what you want to do? You want to make a DVD about Jimmy. Oh, he'd love that. He'd love that.
So you never know. I mean, if we hadn't have been sitting on the same table, we would never have made a DVD Jimmy White, the one and only. But Sugar Ray looking a bit tired there now, I think. But having the introduction done by Mark Peters, Sugar Ray then getting a big round of applause and stuff. And I think he stayed for quite part of the evening, didn't he?
Yeah, he really did. And it was, like you say, it was like spending an evening with your best mate and then they leave. And it's like, well, the reason you've had the party is because of them, and then they've gone. Absolutely.
There's Tommy Stragg, there's Scott Welsh, Jimmy White, Sugar Ray, Steve Collins, there's Emily. And I think this was almost near the end where they were just about to go. I think that's right, but I think he'd probably done it by then, Sugar Ray. But I was sad when he was going to go, and of course we've never met him since.
Did he not write?
He didn't write to me. No calls, no writing.
You see, he promised to call you, and he didn't, did he? You're bitter.
No, I think it was a great experience, wasn't it? Because just to be that kind of close, they do a raffle. Oh, there you are. You're behind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you are. Yes, cleavage.
Yes, I was just, yes.
Yeah, I see you looking.
What do you want me to say to that?
There you are again.
Can you move? Can you move the camera? It's too late.
So that's it. Yeah, you're there.
Oh, God.
Have I just kept rerunning this or something?
I think you have, because I'm sure I've seen that bit before.
I don't think.
Please don't go back to the same piece, for God's sake.
Jimmy White, I think, has just bought something in the raffle for an absolute.
Need.
He did or want. Absolutely. But is there another cleavage shot coming up?
No. Hopefully that'll be it.
Mark's he's going out. He likes the song.
Yeah, he does.
And there's Ruth. That's Joe's other half. And a great night was had by all Steve Collins there, who Joe Egan fought many, many years ago. And there's you.
Again.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Joe Egan fought Steve Collins, I can't remember if it was twice in his youth. And Mark Peters getting the party going. Oh, then there are Sugar Ray.
Yes. Well, you have to get in there, don't you?
Yeah, that's Ruth dancing with Sugar Ray. And he can certainly still move.
I'm surprised Kevin didn't get up.
Absolutely. And then I think they took their leave. But there he is, and gets a big round of applause from absolutely everybody. What did you like most about that experience?
Just, he could have been just the man next door, and so he made everybody comfortable. So he made it a pleasure. You weren't on tiptoes or anything like that thinking what's going to happen next. He just made it an absolute pleasure, a joy to follow him on the day, didn't he?
Yeah, I would say Sugar Ray Leonard, a class act.
Yeah, absolutely.